Hello. Today we're going to talk about the staff. The staff is basically what the written language of music is all based on. Everything has to do with the staff and the markings that we use on the staff to help tell us what notes to play and when to play them. So our staff is divided into 5 lines and 4 spaces. These 5 lines and 4 spaces help us know how high or low the pitches are sounded. Now we also can divide that horizontally into something called measures. And we use something right here called a bar line in order to divide our section into smaller squares. All a bar line is just a vertical line that connects the top and the bottom of the staff, the top line and the bottom line of the staff. Think of these measures as kind of like a sentence of a paragraph, right? It helps us take the notes, which are like words, and group them in little smaller chunks to help us kind of keep track of where we are and keep our place in the music, okay? The other thing that we have here is at the very end of a piece of music, we have something called a double bar. A double bar is one thin line followed by a fat line right after it. That is the indication that the music is over. One of the most important functions of the measure is to help us keep track of the beats in music. And the beat of music is that pulse that you feel, that pulse that you tap your foot to when you listen to music. It's the thing that keeps the music moving at a steady interval and keeps us moving along. That is the pulse of the music. And what we need to do first to understand how measures are helping us organize these beats is understand something called the time signature. Time signature looks like this. It's always 2 numbers, one on top of the other. And in this case, this is 4/4. We would say this time signature is 4/4. Each number has a specific meaning. The top number tells us how many beats in a measure. The bottom number tells us what gets the beat. In this case, this is telling us that there are 4 beats in a measure and that the quarter note or the quarter rest equal 1 beat. I've drawn an example of 4/4 time on the board here. And what you can notice is that this is 4/4, remember from the last section, 4 notes in a measure or 4 beats in a measure, quarter note gets the beat. A quarter note looks like this, okay? It's either a D or a P, and it's a 1 beat. A quarter note is 1 beat of sound. A quarter rest looks like this. And in this case, a quarter rest is 1 beat of silence. So if we look at our example here, we know we have 4 beats in a measure. We know the quarter note gets the beat. That's why within this bar line here, there are 4 quarter notes of beat. And we would count that 1, 2, 3, 4. In the next measure, you'll notice that we have 1 quarter note, followed by a quarter rest, followed by a quarter note, followed by a quarter rest. We would still count those as 4, but we parenthesize the rest to indicate that it's going to be a beat of silence. So this is 1 rest, 3 rest. And that's how this rhythm works itself out. You have these are beats of sound, and these are beats of silence. We also need to talk about the repeat sign. A repeat sign looks like this. It kind of looks like our double bar, except that there's one difference. These 2 dots. These 2 dots are telling us, when you see that we would take the entire example that we just played and go back and play it again. In this case, we would go all the way back to the beginning. Okay, so we have here our example from a second ago with the 4/4. There's 4 beats in a measure, quarter note gets the beat, okay? So if we were to play this, we would count it 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see how we repeated that section twice through in order to actually achieve the repeat sign. The last piece of information you're going to need to help us start reading notes and reading music is to understand what a clef sign is. A clef sign is a symbol that's letting us put meaning to the notes, to the names of the lines and spaces on the music. In orchestra, we read three types of clefs. The high voices read the treble clef. This is the violins read the treble clef. And you can see that these, the lines, the names of the 5 lines are E, G, B, D, and F. And the spaces are F, A, C, E. We always start on the bottom and go up, okay? Your middle voice, the viola, reads middle voiced notes in something called C clef or alto clef. C clef indicates where C is in this middle line. It's indicated by the intersection of these 2 humps. And you'll notice that C is on this middle line. The names of the lines of these are F, A, C, E, G, and the spaces are G, B, D, F. You can notice these are different than if you just looked at the names of the spaces. That bottom space is F in treble clef, but in viola clef, it's G. Our last one is for our lower voiced notes, and that's our bass clef. Bass clef is what cellos and basses read, and the names of the lines are G, B, D, F, A, and the spaces are A, C, E, and G. This is what our bottom voices will read. All right, so these are the 3 clefs that help us name the pitches or how high or low the notes are being played or sounded.